Hey there, Glasgow families. Welcome to Back to School Night. I'm so excited to present this information for you so that our students can have a really successful year. If you need YouTube translation, here are the steps to follow. Welcome to English 8 Advanced Academics. My name is Rushel Grillo, and I'm your child's teacher this year. Let's start off with a little bit about me. So this is my third year at Glasgow. I've taught both English and history. This is my 9th year in Fairfax County teaching 4th through 8th grade. I graduated from Houghton College, which is a really small college in Western New York, with a bachelor's in psychology. And I also have my master's in education, curriculum and instruction from George Mason University. I also have an endorsement in advanced academics because one of my favorite things is critical and creative thinking and challenging our students. I'm also a color guard instructor at Mount Vernon High School. If you're not sure what that is, we accompany the marching band doing dance, spinning flags, rifles, and sabers. We also have a very competitive season in the winter where it's just us, and we perform inside a gym. A little bit about my personal life. I did grow up in Western New York in a very small rural area south of Buffalo and Rochester. I love reading and writing for myself, traveling when it's safe, and of course, I love my students. Teaching is something I'm very passionate about, and I enjoy getting to know them and being part of their lives. I'm obsessed with some things. For example, dressing up in costume. I often do at school once we're back in the building. There's a picture of me as Bellatrix Lestrange from Harry Potter. And speaking of Harry Potter, I am a Potterhead. I think it's a fantastic, well-written series with a great story about friendship and community. I love dancing and sports. Go Washington Nationals, World Series champs, woohoo. For football, I'm a Buffalo Bills and Colts fan, and I love the Sabres for hockey. I live with my husband Jeremy and my sister Corey, and my 2 kitty cats, Merlin and Neville, named after fantastic wizards. Learning in language arts this year. As you probably know, language arts is building on previous skills from the years past. And I truly believe that students learn best by the following: having academic choice, getting a chance to choose how and what they learn. The pace is really important for the students to increase their learning abilities. I also think that it's important that they feel safe and welcoming so that they can take risks and just feel comfortable in school. It's important for them to think positively about themselves, their peers, and of course, the material we're learning. And sometimes that also has to come from home. It's also important that they have an intrinsic love of learning, that it's something that's part of our community, and that they stay engaged, that they feel appreciated and important, which is something I strive myself in because my students really are important to me. That they feel challenged. I think having a little bit of edge where they have to be pushed out of their comfort zone and stretch their brains is really key to that learning. Also, I hope that they're provided opportunities to work together in cooperative and collaborative groups. Even in the virtual setting, we'll continue to do that this year. To be successful, students will need to have an open mind and challenge themselves, work hard, and of course, stay organized. And finally, not be afraid to take risks and ask questions. Again, that welcoming environment will hopefully allow for those things to happen. I have taken a blended learning approach for about 5 years now as a part of a cohort, and I think it's really key to amazing learning. So, what is it? It's an instructional approach to personalized learning through the integration of digital resources. Each student will receive personalized instruction. Sometimes they will always have a focus lesson, but sometimes that will be synchronously, sometimes that will be in a video format beforehand, which just allows for the flexibility of the pace that they learn, and it opens up problem-based learning and projects and kind of just their choice in again, how they learn. Blended learning enhances education and includes all learning styles, and it's proven to really encourage communication, critical thinking, and creativity. So, what will your students learn this year? Again, language arts is building on skills from all the years past. In quarter one, we are currently finishing up a community unit. Then we'll be moving on into the individuality unit. And the writing this quarter is going to be narrative style writing. For next quarter, we will have a justice unit, and our writing will be expository or nonfiction. For quarter three, we'll be doing a unit based on truth, and the style then will be persuasive writing. And finally, for to wrap up the things in quarter four, we have a reflection and growth unit, and the writing will be reflective writing. We are an IB school, which means our grading may be a little bit different if you're new. We do have formative assessments, which are checked for understanding during the learning process. Don't be alarmed if your student does not receive a 7 or 8 for formative assessments. Formative means that they're still growing and that sometimes we need to develop some things. This will include in-class work, so things that they're working on daily. It also includes their notebooks. They'll have 2 notebooks this year. They are both digitally. One is a reading notebook and one is a writing notebook. Exit tickets with questions that kind of check for the understanding of what we're practicing. Summative assessments are weighted more heavily in the grade book. They're judgments based on what content and skills are learned. They represent 80% of the grade. So there are 4 criterion, A, B, C, and D, that just kind to teach them different things and assess the different areas of learning. They could include reading tests. More likely, they'll include projects and problem-based learning, and of course, published writing. Other feedback about how your student is organized and behaving in school can be found on your report card and emails. And of course, we have asynchronous work on Mondays where students will have to do some things outside of class as well. Classroom community and behavior management. So I'm pretty creative in the way that I do this. In the beginning of the year, the students took a personality quiz so that I could get to know them, their learning styles, and just their personalities. And then they were sorted and grouped together by like personalities into Hogwarts houses. Yes, based off from the books and movies. I only use the houses for behavior management and to build that community so students can work with students that are like them, but they're not always in those houses. They also earn points for thinking outside the box, for participating, for asking great questions. So it really just encourages that engagement and gives the students a little bit of competitive fun as well. It's never used for grades or anything like that. Teaching support. In Blackboard, this is something available to all families and parents. In there, you'll find my office hours, a syllabus, contact information, and of course, our updated weekly lesson grids. The current week is always on top, but you can find the following weeks if you scroll below. Google Classroom is really the hub where all the learning takes place for the students. There are period-specific classrooms that will be where students can find course materials, assignments, resources, videos. I also have an office hour classroom. That's for all my students across the entire grade, and that's where the link for the Google Meet will be for my office hours. My office hours are Mondays, 10 a.m. to 10:45 a.m., and Wednesdays from 2:30 to 3:30. This is a great time for students to come in and work on projects, ask questions, get a little bit of extra help, or just catch up. Some online resources. Here's my email, rngrillo1@fcps.edu, and stay tuned for a parent website that I hope to update on all the happenings that are happening in language arts. So how can you support your child during these kind of just crazy times in this virtual world? Well, first, ask them what they're learning in class. Tell them to show them your grid and go through the checks and make sure that they've turned everything in. Ask them what assignments they have, what do they need from you to complete them. And again, they can log into their Google Classroom even though you can't, and they can show you all of the work. The lessons are also recorded, so if they miss a class or if they need to go back to review something that I've said, they can review those as well. A quiet place to work is really important. I know that can be really challenging if you're working from home or if there are other students in the house, but do the best you can because that's important. And then also tell me, how does your child learn best? Feel free to shoot me over an email with their learning styles or anything that you think would be important for me to know about our student. For supplies, they're mainly going to need their computers. Books are really important. Students are going to be reading every single day in language arts. So visit your public libraries. Miss Sands, our librarian here at Glasgow, is doing community runs. So if your student checks out a book, she'll be visiting different various locations where the students can pick up books from Glasgow. There's also some online sources, Mac and Bia, What to Read Next. They're great websites for ebooks or audiobooks. Of course, a pen and paper to take notes or to write in their agendas, and a notebook or a binder with loose leaf paper would be great too. We're looking forward to a fantastic year. I'm so excited to get to know the students more and, of course, the families. And just remember, we're partners together. I can't wait to collaborate with you so that our students can truly be successful. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me.